Unfiltered. Ricky Bo, Bill Colarulo.
Philadelphia Sports Talk.
97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
What's up, everybody? Welcome into Unfiltered on this What Movie Wednesday. Now, Ricky Bo is over at NBC Sports Philadelphia, so he missed out on what was just delivered right before the start of the show. We got jug handle wings out there, Ricky Bo. We got deep fried egg rolls with brisket inside of it. You are missing out, my friend.
I'm assuming you guys saved some for me for tomorrow.
I don't know. You know how it is over here, man. Free food hits that counter. If you don't get it within about 30 minutes, it's gone. Everybody comes out of the woodwork. We get people from all the other stations walking over.
Yeah, blame everybody else.
But it's What Movie Wednesday, and we're giving away 4 $50 gift cards to the Jug Handle Inn. But we'll get to that a little bit later. I want to get into a tough sports question for you, Ricky. A tough one. So in light of everything that's been going on over the last couple of weeks, not just with the Eagles, but a big part of it with A.J. Brown and him getting traded, but the 76ers fire Daryl Morey. They bring in Mike Gansey, and we heard from him earlier this week. And there's been a lot of talk about culture, right? A lot of talk about getting players out of here that are selfish players, getting players in here that want to play for the city of Philadelphia, that want to go through all the extra hard work to win a championship. So it had me thinking about a tough question. When you look at professional sports, which is more important, talent or culture? Now, the easy answer is, you need a combination of both. But where do you start? What is more important? Do you try to build a team that has elite talent but doesn't necessarily have the best culture? Or do you start with trying to build the culture and you fill in the talent? Not an easy answer to this question.
It really isn't, because I think the true answer is somewhere in between. But here's why I'm going to give you the reason why I think it's more talent. Because if you don't have the talent, you could sit there and have the best culture in the world, and your record might be 0-82. You know what I mean? This isn't – everything is still about winning. Obviously, this is professional sports we're talking about, so there is talent. But I think in this day and age, I think the culture means a lot. And it's not just the guys that are in that locker room or clubhouse. Why do I say that? Because I want you to think about this. Everybody, we'll just put the Phillies out there because they have a really good culture within their clubhouse. Guys want to come here now. Why? It's not just because it says Philadelphia Phillies on the uniform. They're not the New York Yankees and probably never will be. But when you look at what they've grown in that clubhouse, players want to come here. Players want to play there. Why? Because of the feeling they get when they walk in that clubhouse. That's what it's all about. You have to have the right moods, the right goals, and everybody's got to be on the same page. That is what culture brings. Culture brings players, and it brings in the talent.
So then, where are you on it? What's more important? Because you started off saying it's talent, but then you gave me the reason it's culture.
I still think you need the talent. This is why I say it's a hard pick. I mean, because if you see what I mean, now you got me confused, because I was strictly on talent to start a minute and a half ago, and now I'm starting to think, well, if you don't have a culture, are these players going to want to come and play there? And the answer nowadays is probably no. Back when I played, they would go whoever gave them the most money.
Yeah, you see, I actually think I'm thinking it's a clearer answer that it's culture. And the reason why is, yes, you need the talent. But let's look at a couple of different sports. I mean, right now, the New York Mets, do they got a lot of talent on that team?
You went right there, too.
Right? Do the Mets have a lot of talent? Yeah. Terrible culture, most likely, and that's what's causing them to not win games. You could even look in our own city, the 76ers. Since Joel Embiid has come here, and even long before that, there's been talented teams. But let's just look at with Joel Embiid and the teams that they've built around him. It's always felt like the culture was off with the 76ers. And Bob Myers talked about that this week. Mike Gansey talked about that this week. They need a culture. They need an identity, and they don't have one. And I think you could make the argument, man, the Sixers have had a ton of talent, in the last decade, and they've never gotten out of the second round. Is that culture? I think it is. I think it is culture. I mean, we could also look at the Philadelphia Eagles. Let's talk about A.J. Brown now. It brings us back to this. A.J. Brown, immensely talented. Immensely talented. He didn't get traded because he wasn't talented. He got traded because there was something off in the culture of that locker room with him and Jalen and maybe some other people. In fact, let's hear from Sirianni, because we didn't really get into this a lot yesterday, Ricky.
Yeah.
Sirianni was asked yesterday, how much did the relationship with Jalen and AJ impact last season? Because there's a lot of people who will tell you, oh, that's what ruined the season. A.J. Brown ruined the season. I felt like Nick gave a really good answer. Now, this is a fairly long clip. It's about a minute long. But this was in response to how much did Hurts and A.J.'s relationship impact the season? Here's the head coach.
No, I think, again, yes, relationships are so important. That doesn't mean everybody – I think sometimes that can get misconstrued that everyone has to be best friends, and that's just not the case. There's a lot of guys on a football team. There's a lot of different personalities, and what has to be understood is that everybody has a common goal. And what also has to be understood is that everybody has a common goal that they need each other to accomplish, right? And so it's like, yeah, we all want to win. Yeah, we all want to be all pro. Yeah, we all want to be our second, third contract. But you also, in that, need others to help you accomplish those things. And there's no other sport, in my opinion, out there that is more that's more obvious than in football.
So some people took that as a shot at A.J. Brown. We can debate that. But you see in there, he talks about how you need to have common goals. You need to understand that you need each other to accomplish those goals. Like, yes, you might have personal goals as well, but we all need each other. And I look at football, and he's right, as probably being the most important sport when it comes to culture being the biggest thing in that locker room. Like baseball, although baseball is a team sport, there's a lot of individuality to the game, right? Would you agree with that? When you're up at the plate, it doesn't necessarily matter what everybody else is doing. You're on your own.
But to Nick Sirianni's point, you need others to accomplish. Why? Okay, if you're a hitter, you need others to be on base. If you want your RBI total to be up where you could get paid, right? If you're a pitcher, you need those defenders behind you, or else nothing's ever going to go right. See what I mean? There is always a need for that person sitting next to you. And I think the one thing that I took out of this, and he didn't say it like this, but when I'm listening to what he is announcing as his culture in his locker room, was you have to put selfish aside. And when you think about that, that means it's not just about you, the person. It's about the bubble that you are in and who is in that bubble. And to me, the bottom line is you take your selfish attitude and you throw that away when you're in that culture.
Do you think he was talking to AJ a little bit? I mean, it was in response to a question about Hurts and AJ, and he talks about how we need each other.
If it was in response, yes, I do.
So, look, Sirianni's big thing, when people have asked, well, what does Nick do? What does Nick do? His big thing is he's a culture guy. Like, that's what he's tried to bring here in the 5 years. Last year, they kind of held it together. Even with AJ requesting a trade after week 4, they did kind of keep it together, surprisingly. You have your star receiver asking for a trade in the fourth week of the season. Things could have really gone off the rails. So I guess they had a strong culture, but not strong enough. But it is a tough question. I'm curious where people are going to weigh in on this because, Ricky, like you're saying, you really need both. But what's more important? It's going to be our Twitter poll today, and I want to hear from people on the Davis Honda text line, phone lines. Get your voice memos in.
Has anybody just won on plain talent alone?
Plain talent alone.
Because this may sway me in so many different directions. Plain talent alone. Well, and I'm going to tell you right now, don't go to Michael Jordan because he had a coach that had a good culture in that locker room.
And then you could say the same thing about Phil Jackson going to the L.A. Lakers, as good as they were, as talented as they were, with Kobe and Shaq, you better believe their culture was ultra competitive. That Mamba mentality.
I have not. You know what? Going deep into this, there are so many different little intricacies to this that it is a tough question. And I'm glad you kind of brought it up because, like I keep saying nowadays, because things have changed a lot. I will tell you this much. I've been in clubhouses where there was a handful of guys that were 4 for 4, what's the score type players. And if anybody doesn't know what that means they went 4 for 4, but we lost the game. So what? And I was in a bunch of those type of clubhouses, and it's almost annoying. And it really kind of throws you off of who you are as a player when you have guys in there like that.
Yeah, like you asked the question, name teams that won on talent alone, but the easier question might be name teams that were ultra talented that didn't win for a lack of culture. I mean, we could go back to just in the city of Philadelphia, the dream team with the Philadelphia Eagles when they brought in all that talent and they couldn't figure out a way to build around them with a strong culture and a winning attitude.
Yeah.
That team was terrible.
And I truly believe, like in football, you kind of brought this up and hit on this a little bit, but you have to be on everybody's side. And you know who brings this out perfectly, and I love saying this? Vic Fangio. Why? Think about what Vic Fangio, how he teaches his players. And I think this came from when Bond came in. It's almost like I want you to do your job. Because if you are doing your job and the 10 other guys on the field are doing their job, that makes for a good defense. If you are not doing your job, that's a weak link, which means, you know what? That's a culture builder, that you have to be doing your job to help everybody else out on that field.
Yeah, it's a good point. I mean, and Fangio certainly reset the culture of that defense as soon as he came in. Now, he says I still remember the first question he was asked, Vic, what makes your defenses so good? He said good players, but make no mistake, it's also being able to get everybody on the same page, all doing their job and not going rogue. Like the Hassan Reddick rumors, right, that came up last week about A.J. Brown, which has been shot down by multiple people. But one of the things, and I think John Marks was talking about this, and I heard this as well, when Hassan Reddick was here, as good as he was, one of the things that his teammates didn't like about him is he sometimes chased stats. He was a guy who wanted his sack number high, and he would go out of position defensively to get those sacks. That don't fly in the NFL. Like your stats are important, but what's more important is doing your job and staying within the rules of the defense so that everybody has their rushing lane and it all goes together. You can't be out of position. But football, I think culture might be, I don't want to say the most important sport to have a strong culture, because I think basketball is also important. And that brings us to the Sixers now.
Oh.
Because the Sixers culture has been pretty non-existent. I think Tyrese Maxey and VJ Edgecombe are trying to change that. And they talked about that last year, but I thought this was relevant. Mike Gansey gets introduced as the new president of basketball operations. He joins our midday show on Monday, and they asked him, what types of players are you looking for on the 76ers? You don't hear him say, oh, well, we're looking for guys who could shoot the three. Oh, we're looking for guys who can defend. Listen to how he describes the players he wants in the building.
Especially in the NBA at this level, you got to have someone that has an elite skill. Like, how are they getting on an NBA floor? But I think the intangibles are just as important. You know, can they do other things to help you win? Obviously, the character of the person and his work ethic. You know, those are things I've tried to implement in my life and just at this job. And, you know, that's what I want in players as well.
Character and work ethic, Ricky.
Work ethic, yeah.
I think that's telling.
Well, the one thing you want is players that are going to work, not players that are complacent with where they are and who they are. You want a superstar to want to be better than a superstar. You want a star to be a superstar. You want a 10th man to be a 6th man. You want a 6th man to be a starter. Isn't that what he's talking about in work ethic? How about that player wants to be better than he can be? That's what you want.
You mean showing up late to meetings?
That sucks.
Missing shoot-arounds wouldn't be good.
And that plays a big role. I know people don't think it, but you know what? Who called him out? Tyrese Maxey, I believe it was, that called him out a couple years back. But, I mean, when you think about it, you don't think that bothers people? Like, why am I here and he's not? you know, what is this? Are we a team, or is this an individualistic sport that, you know what, only he has to show up at certain things and he doesn't have to be here, only I have to do it? That bothers people to the utmost.
Yeah, it does. And I'm curious where the listeners are going to weigh in. Remember, 3 ways to get involved. Davis Honda text line. Send your voice memos. You can pick up the phone and call. It's the same number across the board, 610-632-0975. Now, the question is, what's more important, talent or culture? But I think everyone agrees culture is at least important. I think it's more important than talent, but it's at least important. So now let me ask you this question.
Uh-oh.
When we look around at our 4 major sports teams in the city of Philadelphia, Flyers, Sixers, Phillies, Eagles, who would you say has the strongest culture right now?
Seriously? I think that's an easy answer. I think it's the Eagles.
I don't know, man. Like,
While you're thinking Phillies is what you're thinking.
I don't know. Listen, when you say the Eagles, last year, I guess they had a strong culture in that they were able to survive their number 1 wide receiver requesting a trade week 4. But, like, I've also been told, like, going back to the Super Bowl season in 2024, that there was so much behind-the-scenes drama that we just didn't know about. Now, maybe that's a strong culture in keeping it all in-house.
Can I stop you for 1 second? What is Nick Sirianni's strongest trait?
He's a culture builder.
All right, but you're saying there's no culture, so all of a sudden you're going against a family member.
Now,
I'm not doing a good enough job.
I'm not saying there's no culture. I just wonder if they have the strongest culture. Maybe they do. Yeah, maybe they do.
I think the Phillies have a very strong culture in the sense that, you know, even when guys come up, do you ever see a guy that comes up from AAA that looks lost or looks like he doesn't belong on that team? I mean, because that's a culture builder. When you bring up somebody from like AAA, and the reason why they have this type of culture with the Phillies is because they know that you're only as strong as your weakest link. And if a guy comes up from AAA and is struggling a little bit, they're going to try to raise him up. That's how that team is.
Yeah, and I think some people might even push back and say the Phillies culture has allowed complacency to set in a little bit because they're too comfortable. And I think that was part of the reason they got rid of Rob Thompson.
Well, the one thing they don't necessarily do is they don't really get rid of players. Like if they're not pitching, how many times do you see them actually send a player down that has been here for a little while, but he's not getting the job done? Like, think about that. It doesn't happen. What you get is like relievers that come up from AAA that'll pitch 2 2/3, and they know they're going to need a reliever, and they got to send that guy down. I mean, that's not exactly because of his performance. Sometimes that guy will go in and deal and get sent down because of numbers. But how many times, like Andrew Painter's here right now? You know how many people think Andrew Painter should be sent down so he could go, you know what, get himself straightened out?
Yeah, but is that just because they don't have a better option? That's also a problem.
Yeah, that's why he's still here. Yeah, but I mean, normally when you didn't do the job when I played, you were gone. You were either released, sent down, or you were just see ya.
Yeah, and we're going to have a conversation. Jason Stark joins us at 3:00 like he does every week. We'll talk to him about some of the Phillies' needs at the trade deadline. Is one of them a potential starter because of Andrew Painter's struggles? But I want to continue this conversation about talent versus culture. What's more important? What team in the city right now has the strongest culture? You can weigh in on all of that, 610-632-0975. It's What Movie Wednesday. I'll tell you the theme, and we'll get into the details of the prize as well coming up next. But as we're talking talent versus culture, let's take a look at the 3 most recent champions in the city. The 24 Eagles, the 2017 Eagles, and the 2008 Phillies. Did they win because of talent or culture? We'll have that conversation as well coming up next, Unfiltered. 97.5 The Fanatic, NBC Sports, Philadelphia.
Unfiltered. Ricky Bo, Bill Colarulo.
Philadelphia Sports Talk. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
This is Unfiltered with Ricky Bo and Bill Colarulo.
97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
Drop it like it's hot, Ricky Bo.
You drop it like it's hot.
I'll tell you, I almost dropped that wing like it was hot. We got Jug Handle in the building. It's also our prize for What Movie Wednesday today. We're giving away 4 $50 gift cards to the Jug Handle Inn. Great times are always had at the Jug Handle Inn on Route 73 in Cinnaminson. You know a Jersey bar is good when it wins Best of Philly awards. They've been winners of Best Wings, Best Burgers, Best Happy Hour, and Best Outdoor Bar. Experience the good times, good food with great friends at the Jug Handle Inn. You can win a $50 gift card today, What Movie Wednesday. So what we're doing today for our theme is 44 years ago to the day E.T. was released. Steven Spielberg directed E.T. He's got another movie coming out on Friday, so we're doing Steven Spielberg movies. All right, we're going to try not to give you the obvious ones, but we got our first one coming up this segment, so stay tuned. But the question we opened up the show with, what's more important, talent or culture? And you and I went back and forth on this, Ricky, and at first you said talent, but then the more you're talking about it, you realize how important culture is. It is a tough question. I know a lot of people have been weighing in. You can as well. Get your voice memos in for We Hear You, 610-632-0975. We also asked, well, which team in the city right now has the best culture? You can answer that question. But let's introduce the Twitter poll, and then I want to take a look at some things going on the text board, because Silvana said a lot of people giving their opinions here. Twitter poll up yet?
It's up.
Twitter poll. Always up, standing strong. Thanks to Dr. Avi Donapel of Iron Mountain Men's Health. What we got?
Which is more important in professional sports, talent or culture? 53% are voting for talent, 47% for culture.
Oh, it's close.
It's close.
It is close. Look, you need both, but I still believe culture is more important because without it, I don't think that you can win anything. But before we take a look at the three most recent champions in the city of Philadelphia, and did they win with more talent or more culture, let's get a couple texts in here on the Davis Honda text line. Like, what are people saying when we ask the question, which team right now has the best culture?
Okay, we have a couple of different answers so far. So we will go with Christian, who says the Phillies have a good friendship across the clubhouse, but I don't know if that equals culture. The Eagles culture is about holding guys accountable. It's about everyone believing in the system they play and becoming a single mind.
Core values.
Yeah, listen, Ricky, that's a good text because you pointed out the Phillies culture. I agree with the texter a little bit. Is it more just like they're all friends?
That's what it feels like.
Yes, I agree.
It's like the way I look at the Phillies culture is Bryce and friends. Does that make sense?
Well, we've heard that a lot. Bryce likes to play GM, too.
Well, that's what I mean. I mean, when you think about it, why did Bryson Stott come there? He was drafted by the Phillies, but it's kind of like that's Harper's boy. You think about Trey Turner. He came there because Bryce Harper was recommending him. And I don't know, it's kind of like Bryce's boys, and that's that. But you're absolutely right. We don't know if they hold each other accountable because what you do see is like dumb plays on the field are like no big deal to them. But I mean, to a lot of people that watch the game, they think that's not a major league play that this guy just made. Why isn't somebody saying something to him? And what we always hear is, well, behind closed doors, they say stuff. I don't know if it's like that. Like there were times when I could tell you this much, as far back as like the 2011, 10, 9, 8 teams, they would hold each other accountable. But I don't know. I just don't know anymore. It's hard to see. You don't get the access to what they actually are. But I do believe that the texter was probably right in the sense that it's more of I like this guy, he likes me, we're like a family type thing.
Yeah, when you talk about them holding each other accountable at the current Phillies, I must have missed this. The other night, not last night's Phillies game, 2 nights ago, I was running around with my kids. I was listening to the game, watching the game, but I was in and out. Did I miss Bryce Harper not run out a fly ball, and it ended up I saw Colin Newby, our own Colin Newby, tweet something out. Did Harper not run out a ball? Because Colin tweeted out the other night, I wonder if people are going to give a nickname to Don Mattingly now for not benching Bryce Harper for not running out that fly ball. And I didn't know what he was talking about because I didn't see it happen live.
The only problem with that, I was watching the Blue Jays the last 2 nights. None of them run. Like, none of them. It's gotten to the point where it's like that's almost secondary in what they do. I actually made a joke last night that sooner or later we made fun of Gabe Kapler's curveball machine. Remember that?
Love it.
Remember we made fun of that?
Yeah.
Everybody did. And
I love
sooner or
Gabe
later-
Kapler.
Sooner or later, that might end up being the pitchers in the big leagues, pitching machines, because this is getting so robotic at times, and players follow each other. If the superstar's not running, why does the last guy on the bench have to run?
Yeah, it's a different game. The days of Pete Rose sprinting to first base are over, man.
That's pretty sad, isn't it?
Yeah, it's not going to happen anymore.
They used to say the one thing that takes no talent is hustle.
Yeah, that's right. Showing up on time takes no talent. Hustling takes no talent. Those are the things you can master that take no talent. But look, I want to hear from people. More important, talent or culture? 610-632-0975. And as we're having that conversation, I was looking back at the three most recent champions in the city. The 08 Phils, the 2017 Eagles, and the 2024 Eagles, and saying, well, did they win because of talent or culture? And the one that just jumps off the page, the 2017 Eagles, man. We all we got, we all we need. That was their motto. That culture was absolutely through the roof that year. It didn't matter that Jason Peters went down, Darren Sproles went down, Carson Wentz went down. The list goes on and on. Who else was hurt? Jordan Hicks, I think, got hurt as well. There were so many injuries. Who else was out that year? I remember the list of injuries on the 2017 Eagles was absolutely insane. And didn't matter. There was no one beating that team, especially in that NFC Championship game at the Link. That team was absolutely on fire that year, and nothing mattered. Yeah, they were a talented group. Don't get me wrong. But that team was more about culture than talent, in my opinion. Look at what some of the guys did in that Super Bowl. Nick Foles, Corey Clement. I mean, did they do anything else ever again? Did Corey Clement do anything else in his career? He goes for over 100 yards in the Super Bowl receiving?
Yeah, not that you could really remember, no.
That team was more about culture than talent, man. The 2017 Eagles.
Vitae,
It was infectious.
Right?
Yeah, Vitae
stepped in for Peters.
Vitae stepped in for Peters. That's right. I mean, that team was unbelievable, man. Unbelievable. Now,
Notice I didn't say the first name.
Yeah, I don't know. I know what it looks like. H-A-L, blah,
Right.
blah, 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 blah.
Halapalavati.
There you go. Halapalavati Vitae, I think. I think you got that right.
I don't know. I don't think that sounds right, but
Call DeCecco. He'll be able to spell it
Right?
for us, too, I'm sure, right off the top of his head.
Well,
In fact,
guys,
I think he...
Well, guys, it is...
Yeah.
Can't even do it.
Well, it'd be like, oh, Halapalavati Vitae. He went to high school here, went to college here. He played 372 snaps in that season, 2017. He'll know everything about him. But DeCecco's busy right now. He's down at the last day of mandatory minicamp. But as you're looking at the 2017 Eagles culture, the 2024 Eagles, as important as culture is with Nick Sirianni, that team might have won on talent, man. The way that offensive line dominated, the way that rushing attack dominated, I mean, that was a talented group.
Yeah, but there's still got to be a trust. There has to be a trust somewhere. You don't think Saquon Barkley trusted those guys up front more than anything in the world to open up a hole for them?
Yeah, he did.
Well, that's also a culture. I know you don't look at it like that, and you look at it as like X's and O's, but when you think about it, when you start trusting those linemen, you're going to hit the hole, and you're going to trust that there's an opening there that you can go through. And that line was the best that I could ever remember. Just being able get to the second level. I could remember coming in on Mondays and just talking about them hitting somebody in the second level every single week. And that is a thing of beauty when your offensive line is making their blocks at the line of scrimmage and then taking somebody out in the second level. Oh, it's a thing of beauty.
Yeah, it really was. Like, if I'm not mistaken, I don't remember the exact number now, but his yards before contact.
3.6?
All right, so here it is. I just pulled it up. Yards before contact as a team in the 2024 season, they had over 2,000 yards before contact.
What was the average? Do they have the average per play?
3.2 yards per attempt before contact. It's insane, man.
I mean, that's basically you could get you're getting a first down almost every time.
Yeah, that was special
Every
offensive
set
line.
of downs, you would have gotten a first down.
Special offensive line. Now, Silvana said, as we're having this conversation of talent versus culture, a lot of people are bringing up Chip Kelly on the text board, right? What are they saying about Chip Kelly?
One of them says Chip Kelly's whole thing was culture over talent, and it obviously didn't work. You need both. Hard work beats talent every day of the week.
I don't know. Was it necessarily culture over talent with Chip Kelly? It was more of like my style of offense over.
You could call that more torture.
Yeah, like I don't think
culture, because if you remember, he started implementing everything all at once. That's not really setting a culture. That's setting a design of what you need to do.
Yeah.
You remember the shakes, the smoothies, whatever. I mean, come on.
He wanted to hook them up to sleep machines. You remember that?
Yep.
So that he knew how much they were sleeping and everything else.
Rolling.
I mean, it was good idea in theory, but in practice, it's not going to work. Guys are going to feel like, who the hell do you think you are? But you can still weigh in on this conversation. Get your voice memos in. Remember, we hear you twice a show, 345, 525. So get them in for 345. Talent or culture? What's more important? And as you look around the city right now, which team has the best culture? I'm really curious where people would weigh in on that. 610-632-0975. But it's time for What Movie Wednesday, our first one of the day. We're doing Steven Spielberg movies today. If you've never played, the rules are simple. We'll play a clip of a movie. If you know it, all you got to do is text the name of the movie. Don't call, text the name of the movie to the Davis Honda text line, 610-632-0975. If you get it right, you qualify. We do it once an hour. At the end of the show, we'll announce 4 winners of a $50 gift card to the Jug Handle Inn in Cinnaminson, New Jersey. Are you ready, Ricky?
Yeah, I'm ready.
All right, Ricky does not know what the movies are, so here we go.
Hello.
Hi. Are you deadheading?
What?
Are you my deadhead to Miami?
Yes. Yeah, I'm the deadhead. Here you go.
You're a little late, but the jump seat is open.
You know, it's been a while since I've done this. Which one's the jump seat again?
Have a nice flight.
All right, send the name of the movie, 610-632-0975. Coming up, we'll give you the answer. We'll continue the talent versus culture conversation. But we got Jason Stark joining us at 3 o'clock. So let's talk a little Phils. Joan Duran blew his first save last night. Remind you of the magical 2008 season from Brad Lidge. How many closers in the history of Major League Baseball, since saves were a stat that got tracked, had perfect seasons? We'll have that conversation as well coming up next, but I'll give you the What Movie Wednesday answer. Most importantly, keep it here. Unfiltered, 97.5 The Fanatic, NBC Sports, Philadelphia.
Unfiltered. Ricky Bo, Bill Colarulo.
Philadelphia Sports Talk. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.
Unfiltered. Ricky Bo, Bill Colarulo.
97.5 The Fanatic and the Fanatic app.
It's What Movie Wednesday. We just had your first chance. Did you get that one without cheating, Ricky?
Oh, there we go.
There we go, Ricky.
All right. You didn't hear me, Bill. You could see my lips moving. I said, yeah, if she brings me up. That was Ellen Pompeo and Leonardo DiCaprio on a plane, and that was Catch Me If You Can, one of my favorite movies.
Now, you have one incorrect.
I knew I was right.
One thing incorrect.
That was Ellen Pompeo.
I don't think it was. Is she the girl who was in Grey's Anatomy?
Yep.
Yeah, that was not her.
Yes, it was.
No, he gets on the plane with her, but the woman he's talking to, that's not her.
Yes, it was.
Hold on.
Oh, my goodness. I didn't even realize she was in that movie.
No,
Well,
I'm telling you, I pulled the clip.
She was the flight attendant.
Yes, she was the flight attendant.
Telling him to get in the jump seat.
Once he gets on the plane, that clip I just played, because I pulled it from YouTube, is him talking to the person at the desk first.
I thought it was.
So you're slightly correct, but that wasn't her in the clip. But yes, Catch Me If You Can.
He was getting ready to talk to her.
Yes, so sure. I'll give you credit. I will give you credit. But if you got it right out there, you qualify for a $50 gift card to the Jug Handle Inn. We're giving away 4 of them. We'll do once every hour. We'll announce the winners at the end of the show. But Catch Me If You Can, great Steven Spielberg movie. What other Steven Spielberg movies might we do today, Ricky Bo? That's the big question.
E.T.?
Well, E.T. today is the 44th anniversary of its release. So we are not doing E.T. Because because that was the reason we're doing.
You must have
Spielberg.
not heard why we're doing Steven Spielberg movies.
Yeah, so I didn't want to put that out as one of the answers. It was too obvious. All right, we got Jason Stark joining us at 3 o'clock. He joins us every single Wednesday, always does a great job with his Phillies stuff. But last night, Zach Wheeler, not necessarily his best stuff, but he only gives up 1 earn, right? Was it 1 that he gave up, Zach, or did he give up 2? Trying to remember.
He only gave up 1. He gave up a home run.
That's what I thought. So Wheeler gives up 1 earn. Phillies have the lead in the bottom of the 9th. That's happened 16 times with Joan Duran coming out to try to save it. And he saved it all 16 times. Well, last night was the 17th. And unfortunately, he blows the save. And no one really hit him hard. He gave up like 3 weak hits. But that just is what happens in baseball sometimes. You're not going to be perfect unless you're Brad Lidge from 2008. Now, Ricky, you were a closer in this league. Is there anything more frustrating than what Duran went through last night where you're actually making your pitches, but things are just happening?
I hate the shifts. I hate moving the fielders. Think about this. We talked about this on postgame last night. If Trey Turner was in the shortstop position, it's a routine ground ball to short. I mean, I just don't understand it. And the Blue Jays did the right thing with the runner on first. You move the runner a little bit. He was running on that next play, and Stott's got to respect that, so he can't really react to the ball in the hole between first and second. So, you know what? It is what it is. But, I mean, he didn't help his situation with a wild pitch and or crossing up JT. That could have turned into a real bad situation for JT Realmuto.
Yeah, that was scary, man.
100 miles an hour right. Thank goodness it caught the glove, because if that would have hit his wrist, I mean, that's damage to your wrist.
Yeah, now that seemed like it was a problem with the pitch. I'm drawing a blank on the name. What do they call it? Why are we drawing a blank here? What do they call where they PitchCom. There it is. PitchCom. But
one way or the other, if there's a problem with the PitchCom, wouldn't you just put a number down?
Well, it sounded like if you read JT's lips to Duran, he goes, "You heard fastball." So whatever JT hit in terms of the pitch, it came in the Duran as fastball.
Number one, that place is very loud. Okay, I've played there, and especially when the roof is closed, it's loud. And you better have all your P's and Q's together, or else you're going to have some issues. And I'm going to tell you right now, they better get this figured out, because we know playoff baseball, what happens? Places get loud.
Yeah.
You have the PitchCom things. And I just think, why is there not an emergency plan that if something's going wrong, you can't just put down a number?
Yeah, but I think you're assuming that Duran and Realmuto knew there was something wrong.
Well, obviously there was. He had just changed it.
He changed it.
Change it before?
I thought he changed it after. I don't know.
I don't know.
But either way, you're right. They dodged a bullet not hurting JT last night.
Yeah, I mean, well, JT dodged a bullet. He looked like, I'll tell you right now, he looked like he saw a ghost after he got hit by that ball. But nonetheless, I mean, he throws a one wild pitch. He crosses up JT. And then a 1-2 pitch he left over kind of the middle of the plate for the winning hit. So, I don't know. You're saying bad luck. Yes, a little bit. But, I mean, I've seen him sharper than he was last night. He threw strikes. You can give him that much.
So do the Philadelphia Phillies have a closer problem? Call us 610. I'm obviously kidding. That's a different station.
Let's hope you're kidding, because that would be the biggest joke I've ever heard. This guy's got some dominant stuff.
Yeah, I'm only kidding around. This happens, but it does put into perspective 2008 when Brad Lidge goes 41 of 41, how magical that is. Now, save opportunities started to get tracked in 1969, Ricky.
Yep.
How many closers, and we're going to do a minimum of 20 save opportunities, had a perfect season? How many closers, minimum 20 save opportunities, perfect season?
20 save opportunities. I'll go 2.
It's a little more than that.
4.
7. It's actually been done 7 times. Yeah, I was a little surprised. So you have, obviously, Lidge did it in 2008, 41 for 41.
Right, but it turned out 48 for 46 for 46
with the postseason.
Yep.
You got 1998. Rod Beck went 51 for 51 with the Cubs.
He was nasty, man.
In 2000, actually in 98, Trevor Hoffman also did it, 53 for 53 with the Padres. Todd Jones, 42 for 42 in 2000 with the Tigers. Eric Gagne, who has the record, 55 for 55.
I think he won the Cy Young, didn't he?
He might have won. That was in 03. I think he might have won it that year.
Yep.
Lidge did it in 08. Jose Valverde did it in 2011 with the Tigers, 49 for 49. Zach Britton with the Orioles, 47 for 47 in 2016. But yeah, only 7 times. I don't know,
Those
man.
are all fairly recent, too. Well, after 2000, most of them, right? Oh, except for Trevor.
98 is
Trevor Jones.
Yeah, 98 until 2016. So we haven't seen it in 10 years.
Yeah. Well,
I was a little surprised.
Nowadays it's getting less and less because how many teams actually have a true closer?
Yeah, a lot of closer by committees.
Well, it's not. I don't even know what they go by anymore. It's like closer by what analytics tells us.
Yeah, you know what you saw happen last night, too, as we're talking about the closers. Duran, there's a guy on first and third, and the guy on first is able to just take second. Like, why can't closers hold runners?
It's not that hard to do.
Yeah, well, so what is it? Is it they just don't care about it? Like the coaching doesn't care? They just let the closers do whatever they want so they don't hold the runner?
I don't know if they don't care. I just don't understand, like, how hard is it? It's all about timing. Everybody thinks it's about throwing the ball over to first base. It's all about timing. It's about holding the baseball an extra split second. We used to practice that. They don't practice this. This isn't something hey, let's go down the right field line and practice. I can tell you right now, if you remember back in the 22 World Series with the Astros, that pitching coach was Brent Strom for them. If you remember, they held runners very well, and it wasn't just about throwing over to first base. Because I had Brent Strom as a pitching coach when I was with the Royals, and we used to have to, once a homestand, go down the right field line, and he would make us hold the ball for like 3 seconds, 2 seconds, 1 second, 2, 1, 3, and he would say the number. You know how hard it is when you're standing out there to think about 3 seconds. 1, 1, it just seems like a long time. But when you vary your looks over to first base, you know what happens? That guy over there is not getting a jump.
Yeah, I still have nightmares of Craig Kimbrell. I guess it was 23. Just every time a guy got on first, he would intentionally let him leave. Well,
remember him?
Not as much as I remember Kimbrell in the postseason for the Phillies a couple years ago.
It was like a single is a double, a walk is a double. Yeah.
As soon as the guy gets on first, he's immediately in scoring position.
Yep.
All right, well, here's what we got coming up. Jason Stark, Hall of Fame writer for The Athletic, joins us. A lot of questions for him about the fight in Phils. We're going to talk to him about Adolis Garcia a little bit, too, because yesterday we declared he's back as being Adolis the Swollest and the official Philly of Unfiltered. Should we be buying what Garcia's selling? We'll hear what Jason Stark has to say. All coming up next right here, Unfiltered, 97.5 The Fanatic, NBC Sports, Philadelphia.
Unfiltered. Ricky Bo, Bill Colarulo.
Philadelphia Sports Talk. 97.5 The Fanatic and 97.5thefanatic.com.